Hi there, this is Randy with Hot Snarky Plant-Based. I thought I would do a video today explaining where I am in my fat loss perimenopausal journey, how I got here, where I'm going, all those kind of things. So I'll start out by saying I've never been more than about 25 pounds overweight. I've always been health conscious. I've always exercised. I've lifted weights from probably the age of 18. So I've always been aware of my health and my weight, that kind of thing. 3 years ago, I successfully had lost 30 pounds on a whole food plant-based diet. I was also going through an ugly divorce. I had moved to a new town. It was a really stressful time. But at that time, really just diving into the whole food plant-based way of eating and being really consistent with my workouts helped me, I think, stay sane. And I just had this extreme focus. And so I was able to successfully lose 30 pounds of weight in about 6 months. And it was awesome. I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. I felt really good. And then I'd say over the past couple of years, it sort of seemed like one morning I woke up about a year and a half ago and like pretty much all the weight had returned, and I apparently wasn't paying attention. I was still working out, but I definitely wasn't as strict about my food. I was going out to eat a lot more. I think I just took my eye off the ball, and also my hormones started changing much more drastically the past couple of years. And so lo and behold, I get on a scale one day and I'm 25 pounds heavier. Upset, pissed off, sad, feel like a failure. I don't understand like what happened. I eat so healthy. I eat whole food, plant-based, not too much processed foods, all that kind of stuff. And I know there's a lot of you out there that feel the same way, where you're like, no, I eat really clean, or I eat really healthy, and I don't go out to eat a lot, and I don't eat fried foods and that kind of stuff. And it seems to me that when your hormones start to change, that, I don't know, your body doesn't care anymore what you're doing, or whatever you did 5, 10, 15 years ago to lose that weight, like, does not necessarily work anymore. And it totally sucks. So about, a year and a half ago, I think, maybe 2 years ago, when I, discovered like, hey, my clothes are tight, and I get on the scale and I see like, holy shit, I've gained a lot of weight back. Like I said, created a lot of feelings of anger and frustration and all those horrible things. So over the past couple of years, I've been trying, of course, to lose that weight. In addition to that, aside from just the weight gain, which is upsetting enough, the past few months when I had my labs done, I had my cholesterol checked, all my lipid panel was going up in the wrong direction. So my total cholesterol was higher, my triglycerides were high, which has never happened. My bad cholesterol was high, and my good cholesterol was low. And not only that, my C-reactive protein, which is a test that measures inflammation in the body, is also high and has been high for like a year. So internally, metabolically, things are going to shit. And so that was also very upsetting. So because of all that, I decided, okay, so I'm going to be more focused on my food quality, that kind of stuff. I did not want to count calories at that time because I've tracked calories half my life and I hate it. It like really, it's just so annoying to me. So I said, I don't want to track calories. I'm just going to, eat the way I know how to eat, that's healthy, reduce my sugar, get back to my consistent workouts, that kind of stuff. So that's what I've been doing for like the past year and a half. And I tell you, I maybe have built some muscle, but I do not believe I had lost any fat whatsoever. And my labs were looking kind of the same. So that was super duper frustrating. So about 3 months ago, I decided, okay, I guess I need to go back to calorie tracking because I don't know what I'm eating. And clearly whatever I'm eating is leaving me in maintenance and not fat loss. So I did online calculators to figure out what my calories what my BMR is each day. Basal metabolic rate, that's the rate, the amount of calories you burn just existing, breathing, whatever. So I did online calculators to figure that out. And then from that, I added my activity time per day, and then I subtracted to come up with a calorie deficit of what I thought was like a moderate calorie deficit. So I tracked precisely for 8 weeks, plus doing 4 days of weight workout, a couple days of HIIT training, 1 or 2 days of longer cardio. That's what I've been doing. And after 8 weeks, I had probably lost 2 pounds. And so I'd had a body scan test here in town before I started and after the fact. And basically it confirmed I had kept all my muscle, which is great, but I lost 2 pounds of fat. Okay, that's really slow. Like, I know it's a journey, a long journey, but 2 pounds in 8 weeks, not feeling it. So I ended up buying like a Hume body pod scale, where you hold on to the handles and you weigh yourself, because I wanted to be able to track at home, and the typical scale just does not give like a lot of information. It kind of sucks. So I invested in one of those, and according to that, my BMR was about 200 calories less than the online calculators were telling me. So that sort of made sense why I wasn't really losing fat very quickly, because my BMR is just 200 calories less than I thought it was, which really sucks. So I recalculated my calorie intake and basically lowered it by 150 a day from where I had previously been. And that's what I've been doing for the past, I don't know, maybe 6-7 weeks, something like that. And again, continuing my very consistent workouts, I also added in more steps daily, because I can be pretty sedentary with my job. And so I decided I needed to like get up and walk more. And so my goal is, 8,000 steps per day minimum. I reach that most days. So I've been doing all that. And with all that, I've lost 5 pounds of fat. So that's all great. I had my labs retested. It had been 3 months since I had my cholesterol and the C-reactive protein tested, and all the cholesterol numbers had come down by 10 to 11 points, which is great. Triglycerides still out of whack though, and the bad cholesterol is still out of range. But everything had come down by 10, 11 points, which is awesome. So I'm on the right track. My body scale also, or the Hume body scale also says I'm losing visceral fat, which is hugely important. And that's something new that I don't think I ever had a real issue with until this perimenopause crap, is visceral fat. And that shows up on that scale, and it shows you how much, and it's not great. And it's not good for you, and it's the cause of a lot of metabolic disorders. So that's better. My CRP is still a little bit high, which I'm not crazy about, so that still shows kind of a chronic inflammation going on, which could be from a whole myriad of things. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm on the right path finally. It's been a long journey to figure this out. I think for me, the bottom line is, if you're not tracking your calories, and I'm not talking about tracking macros, just calories. If you're not really tracking your calories, it's really hard to know what the hell you're eating. And just like me, I could say all day long, no, I eat healthier than like 90% of the population. It doesn't matter as far as calories go. If it's too many calories, you're going to gain weight. If it's just the right amount of calories, you're going to maintain your weight. So until you start tracking exactly what you're eating, weight loss is like a mystery that you cannot solve. I think there are lots of other factors that also go into it. I feel like this is like a, lock with you have to figure out the combination to this lock that is you and your body in this stage of life. And it's really, really freaking tricky for some of us. So for me, it's been the right amount of calories that aren't too low so that I'm miserable, or too low so that my metabolic rate goes down even further. So it's finding the right amount of calories. It's a moderate calorie deficit, not a steep deficit. Moving my body more throughout the day, because even if you go to the gym in the morning for an hour, that's just not enough. And then you sit the rest of the day, that's not enough. It's just not enough. I feel like our metabolisms just go to sleep. It's like they're activated for a little bit and then they just go to sleep. So movement throughout the day is critical. I actually got a walking pad for my computer to help with getting the steps in, because I still have to like work. I can't just be outside wandering the neighborhood all day. So it's focusing more on sleep, because I'm really crappy about going to bed on time, and so it's focusing a little bit more on sleep and trying to get at least 7 hours a night. It's reducing stress, which is hard, because stress, again, can influence the inflammation, and you can have cortisol spikes and all that kind of stuff. And then I also reduced greatly the amount of processed foods I was eating. Even though I don't eat a lot, I actually sat and looked through my food journal for 2 weeks, and I picked out and wrote down every highly processed food that I would eat or snack on or pick at. And I came up with like 10 things that were in my food journal for that 2 weeks that I would be snacking on. And it could have been like protein bars, it could have been Annie's little bunny crackers, it could have been wheat thins, just stuff, right? And I decided that, none of those items were contributing to my health and contributing to my goals, and they were unnecessary, and there were unnecessary calories that I didn't need. So I took them out of my diet, and I decided, nope, I'm going to eat as close to a whole foods diet as possible, and that's what I've been doing. I hope this was helpful information. This is where I am in my journey. Please leave a comment or a question if you want to know anything else, and I will make more videos soon. Bye.